definition of royal is having the status of a king or queen or a member of their family. The definition of noble birth refers to being born into a high-ranking, aristocratic, or privileged family, typically inheriting titles, land, or superior social status. Synonyms for of noble birth are highborn, aristocratic, blue-blooded, patrician of gentle earth. Historically, it meant having special privileges, land ownership rights, and high social standing. In 1981, I was 9. And like many young girls, I woke up at the crack of dawn to watch Prince Charles marry Diana, who became Princess Diana. It was a fairy tale, seemed to be a fairy tale, like all young girls grew up on. A real life prince, a real life princess. Wow, this is stuff of like dreams. 5 years later, in 1986, then Prince Andrew married Sarah Ferguson. Again, woke up at the crack of dawn to watch what I thought was just one of the most romantic stories going. These people led lives that we couldn't possibly dream of, correct? I think a lot of girls my age felt that way back then. I think a lot of people who lived in the States were enticed, um, amazed, entranced, romanced by the idea of royalty. And that these people, because they were royalty, were esteemed. And from what we could see from watching these weddings, the British people absolutely adored them. Enter Jeffrey Epstein, convicted sex trafficker, pedophile, killed himself in jail in 2019, probably killed himself in jail in 2019 because he knew what was coming. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was arrested the other day and has also been stripped of his titles because of his close involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Sarah Ferguson also has come to light that she had close involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. This was a known sex trafficker. This was a known person with his, advisor, confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell, who brought young women to certain places, transported them for personal sexual enjoyment, possibly slash assault, correct? Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's arrest the other day was marked as unprecedented. Unprecedented that a royal would be arrested. He faces some serious charges, and the charges that he faces actually could result in a life sentence in prison. Now, one would think if you were born into royalty, if you were of noble birth, if you were gentle born, if you were high born, if you were blue blooded, if you were patrician, if you were aristocratic, that you would embody those attributes and live in such a way. Now, that's a rational person's thought process. I am blessed. I am lucky. Blessed and lucky can be bastardized into entitled, arrogant, thinking you're above the law, um, satisfying yourself, Other people who exist in the world that are not of your high social standing are pawns and toys. Just because you have high social standing doesn't mean you have high moral character. Now, I don't find the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor to be unprecedented because I don't think just by the sheer quality of being royal that automatically makes you a good person. That's been proven time and time again. What I find unprecedented, in my personal opinion, and this is just my opinion, is his level of arrogance, his level of inhumanity, his level of not treating people as people for his own personal enjoyment. That's what I find unprecedented. And it truly amazes me that the assumption that we somehow carried for years of royals was that they were somehow above it all. Now, some people would term this as a fall from grace for Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. But can you really fall from grace when you were already down in the ditch to begin with? That we gave this man these almost godlike, holy like characteristics without ever earning them. And we're somehow surprised now that after someone who had the world given to him took advantage of it. The unprecedented part of this whole situation is that we can't believe he did this. Why in the world would we not believe he did this? He had no guardrails, he had no boundaries, he had no oversight. He completely existed to please himself to the detriment of other people. This entire thing, just my opinion, incenses me. So he got stripped of his titles. Okay. Do you still see him riding a horse in like some royal wood somewhere? Yes. Did his life change that much other than being a family embarrassment? No, because of the entitlement. His life changed when he started to be treated like the criminal that he is, regardless of his noble birth. Let's see how this progresses now that the US is calling for more serious actions to be taken among the people that were named who are our aristocracy in the US, celebrity, billionaires. Let's see how this progresses now when those things don't protect people anymore because they committed crimes. And they are crimes they should have to answer for. And I hope that they do.